Is getting lost during Samyama practice okay? And once I realize it has happened, what do I do?
Losing track of our sutras is common, even for advanced practitioners, due to ongoing purification and opening occurring in the nervous system. It can happen to anyone, anytime, and there is nothing to worry about. When we realize we have wandered off from our sutra practice, we just easily come back to it wherever we left off. If we find ourselves in a blizzard of thoughts, we do not hang on to them or try to force them out. We just easily come back to our Samyama practice whenever we realize we have wandered off into a stream of thoughts or any other experience. Of course, wandering off and coming back to our sutras after some time has passed can mean our overall time will be longer. That is fine, if we have the time. If we run out of time, then we can end our session as necessary wherever we happen to be in the sutra sequence and lay down to rest. There will always be other sessions, so we do not have to fret about an interrupted sequence of sutras. It has been for a good cause, our purification and opening, and for the ongoing process of our enlightenment. Everyone goes through changing experiences in Samyama. Over the long term, Samyama practice tends to become more steady and stable as inner purification and opening advance in our nervous system. If we get lost during the 5-minute session with our last sutra, we can just lie down and rest if our time is up, when we realize we have been off somewhere. It is common for such variations to occur, and we don't have to be concerned. It is our long-term practice that will make the difference, so any variations that occur, we just take in stride and keep on with our twice-daily practice.
I have heard that concentration is one of the key elements in Samyama, but you do not mention it. Why?
In the style of Samyama we are doing here, we pick up the object, the sutra, with attention and let it go. That picking up is called dharana, the 6th limb of yoga. The letting go is dhyana, which is the dissolving of the sutra, the meditation component, the 7th limb of yoga. Absorbing of the release sutra in our inner silence is the samadhi element, the 8th limb. It is important to recognize that when we are picking up the sutra in a very faint and fuzzy way, then all 3 limbs of yoga will be coexisting at the same time. This becomes very natural and easy as our inner silence becomes steady and stable from our well-established deep meditation practice and increasing experience in Samyama. So, Samyama is all 3 aspects together, and this is the essential cause that yields the remarkable effects in Samyama. While it might seem ironic, the clunky stage we may experience for a few days or weeks when getting started in Samyama practice is caused by too much fixation of the mind on the surface level of the sutra. In other words, too much concentration. Success in Samyama comes from touching the sutra faintly with awareness and letting go. It is that simple. The word dharana is often translated to mean concentration, and this is a reflection of how some traditions practice both meditation and Samyama, at least at certain stages, riveting the mind on an object, like a mantra or sutra, until it wears out and falls into stillness, hence the word concentration. But this is not how deep meditation and Samyama are practiced in the AYP approach. So we do not use the word concentration in relation to practice to avoid confusion with techniques taught elsewhere. But we do talk about concentration in another way. Concentration means intense or complete attention. As we advance in our practices and experiences, inner silence continues to rise and stabilize in us, with many benefits. One of those benefits is the ability to increasingly focus attention like a laser beam on any task or object for an extended period of time. In other words, over time, yoga vastly increases our power of concentration. This ability to concentrate is an effect of yoga practices, which, in turn, becomes a cause in all that we undertake in life. An increased ability to concentrate is a practical benefit coming from yoga, one of many. Like so many things in spiritual life, the rise of concentration from undifferentiated inner silence is a seeming paradox. Yet, it happens. The more awareness, inner silence, we have available within ourselves, the more we are able to focus our attention intensely on external tasks for long periods of time. When we engage in the efficient process of Samyama on a daily basis, the flow of inner silence outward takes on a much more active role in our life. In time, it becomes a vast outpouring of attention, positive energy, intelligence, and love that can lead to remarkable achievements. It is the stuff of miracles.
I've been doing Buddhist meditation for years. Can I use this style of Samyama with it?
The fuel of Samyama is inner silence. Any meditation technique that cultivates inner silence will be a support for Samyama practice. So, Buddhist meditation will work to the extent it cultivates inner silence. Typically, the best time for structured Samyama practice is right after meditation, which is the time when the most inner silence is likely to be present. We always rest for 5 to 10 minutes after Samyama practice. Lying down is good, to facilitate the winding down of inner energy flow and purification in the nervous system that may be occurring deep inside. If we get up too quickly, there can be some irritability in daily activity. Samyama also works outside sitting practices, and we will get into that in the next chapter. Suffice to say that our genius resides in stillness within us, and to the extent we are able to entertain our desires in stillness, the likelihood of their fulfillment will be greatly enhanced. Einstein, Newton, Mozart, and many others stand as testaments to this fact. Where there is inner silence and the principle of Samyama operating, there is genius. It is in all of us.
Is doing Samyama for gaining personal power wrong? Is it dangerous?
Of all the ways we can seek to increase our power in the world, Samyama is the least dangerous. This is because true Samyama is not projection. It is not acquiring anything or manipulating anything in the world. Samyama is surrender to the divine within us. There is no harm that can come from this, even if we are doing it for selfish reasons. What is not done for selfish reasons anyway? Everything we do is for our own self, even if we are making great sacrifices for others. It is merely a matter of what we regard ourself to be. When we become filled with the joy of pure bliss consciousness, we begin to find our own self in everything and everyone around us, and act accordingly. This is the direct result of daily practice, of deep meditation and Samyama. So, if we have some egotistical desire for enlightenment, or for some powers to exercise in the world, this is fine. Learn deep meditation, learn Samyama, and go for it. What will happen as we continue with practices and act in the world is, we will expand from the inside. As we do, our view will expand, as will our sense of self and the quality of our actions. Then we will be projecting our personal desires less on others and surrendering them more into stillness. What comes out from that will be divine flow. No matter what sort of impure thoughts we have been letting go inside,